Hello. This short explanation or screencast is meant to explain the new system for your teacher evaluation for the 2014-2015 school year. Most of you are familiar with this evaluation matrix that has been used in the past to determine your overall rating in OTES. It was a combination of two things. Your student growth measure, whichever that was or was used by your district, and your teacher performance side. This evaluation matrix is gone. It no longer exists, and it's been replaced by this. It looks a lot more complicated, and to some extent it is. It is a 600-point scale, which is something that is new to us. The important thing to keep in mind, though, is it is still based on the same two things. There is a student growth measure part of it, and there is a teacher performance part of it. So this is your teacher evaluation or observations by your evaluator. So don't let the 600 points confuse you, because you'll notice that it still goes down to a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 scale for student growth, which fits in with value added, or fits in with MAP testing, or fits in with your SLOs, whatever that case may be. And these scales over here fit into OTES, and the label that you get in OTES based upon your teacher observations and evaluations. Don't let this 600 confuse you as well, because remember, this is 50% of 600, or this would be 50% of 400. So it's not out of 1,200 total, it's out of 600, because you have to multiply by percentages. So what might this look like in the case of an individual teacher? So let's say that I am a teacher who is all value added. So I teach all value added subject, and I come across in value added. I got my report recently after it was cleaned up, and I received, I was an above average teacher. So I received 400 points. Of course, that's 50% or half of that 400 points. So I would receive 200 points there. And then let's say in OTES I am an accomplished teacher. My evaluator comes in and thinks I'm doing a great job, so I get 300 of that 600 points. So I have my 200 here, my 300 here, and I would come across as a 500-point teacher, which is accomplished. Some of you have SLOs, and those SLOs also fit into your student growth measures. So you would add the value of those two SLOs up. So let's say on the first SLO you get a 5, and on the second one you have a 4. So you have 9 points. You divide that by 2, which is 4.5. According to the business rules, a 4.5 gets rounded up to 5. So that 5 becomes, on your student growth measures, 600 points. So you, of course, remember 50% of that 600 points, and you get 300. So different populations of teachers have different value-added scores, and then there are weights assigned to those scores. So if you're straight 50% all value-added, it makes this math a little bit easier. But if you have multiple categories, then it can make it a little bit more complex. But the important thing to remember is you have to break that down, and these scales have not changed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 looks very familiar to us, and this looks familiar to us as well from OTES. I hope the explanation helps. If you have any question, you should talk to your evaluator and make sure that you understand how this will look for you next year. Thanks.